This is the continuation of Southwest Airlines Flight 112. This is part 2. This is going to be the arrival into San Jose, Costa Rica. We've been flying for 2 hours and 44 minutes, and we're back and we're ready to get into San Jose. So I haven't done anything related to getting the arrival in other than just having it in the FMS. So we're going to go ahead and check out some stuff here. We can pop in our thing here. Approach ref, we'll do 128, we'll do a flop 30 landing. Okay. We check out the ILS. We're going to be on, first of all, let's double check the weather. Current weather right now is 110 at 10 statute miles, few clouds 3,000, temperature 22, dew point 16, altimeter 2997. Didn't realize they actually use HPA. But I don't know what 2997 is in hectopascals, but it's okay. We'll just do 2997. We can do Orbx 2. Just looking at the airport here, if we land, we may actually do Orbx 0. Let me double check. No, we'll do 2. If we get off on like taxiway Delta, which is going to be right by the gates, that would be phenomenal. So we've got Orbx 2. As you can see, our top of descent's coming up here in just less than 40 nautical miles. That'll also be the beginning of the star right there. So we can double check the legs. Let me double check in the star here, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. TILR 250 knots at or above flight level 200. 5s at or above 10,000. PARs at 10,000. So we've got those are in, so we're good to go there. One thing too I forgot, we can also set up the ILS decision height. It's 200 feet or 3162 on the barrow, so we can go ahead and set 3,162. And I have a little hotkey set up to that, so I don't have to sit there and scroll. If I had to scroll all the way up to that, that would just be awful, and I'd use the radio altimeter. But assigned a key to the kind of scroll wheel, so I'm just going up here. It's 3162. Boom. 3162 is set. Flap 30 VFR 128. We can go ahead and do. Let me double check stuff up here. Okay. We can do the descent checklist. Minimums are set. VREF and VTarget 128, 133 set noted. Auto brakes 2. PAX auto. And the recall is checked. Descent checklist is complete. Now that that's taken care of, we'll be back when we have begin the descent into San Juan, Costa Rica. For some reason, I don't know why it escaped my mind, but it did. We didn't set up the ILS at all in what we were just doing previous. So we can set up the ILS. The local is India Oscar Charlie Oscar on 109.5. So let's go ahead and tune that in there. 109.5. 109.5. Okay. And the course is going to be 68. 68 is set both sides. So we're coming back now to 250 knots. I did have to put the speed brakes up just a little bit to slow us down. At least help us slow down. Again, the current METAR right now has altimeter 2997. So I'm going to go ahead and set that. 2997 is set on both. Again, it's weird because the altitude set is in hectopascals. The transition level is flight level 200, so let's go ahead and put that in now. So there's a transition altitude. We're now 2997, and so we're set up. Again, it is in hectopascals. Yet what I have right here in my EFB. My EFB, by the way, I've had a couple people ask me. It's JEP FD. It's from Jeppesen. Obviously, it's not for virtual. You know, it's for the real world. I can use it in the real world. That was part of my reasoning for buying it. But you don't have to buy the app. You get the app, but then you have to purchase the coverage areas. So those are not the cheapest things in the world. But for as much as I can use them in the sim. I can use them when I go fly real planes. So it's definitely worth the money, at least for me, to use. So, but anyways, the METAR it's given me there is 2997, but again on the chart it says it's set in the altimeter is set in hectopascals. So I don't know why it gave me inches, but whatever, same difference. So we got that set up there. We're on our way down now. We just passed through 18,000 feet, which is our normal transition altitude. And then as you can see here, we're just going to make a left turn and then we can intercept the ILS runway 7. The minimum altitude is 4,600 feet at Monte. From there, we do need to intercept the ILS, and that should put us on about it's a 5.9 mile final, so a 6 mile final essentially. Pretty basic approach. Straight in. Northeast and the entire east side of the airport is surrounded by mountains, so we definitely, the missed approach is climb outbound on the El Coco VOR in the 068 degree radial to 4 miles and 5,500. Then a right turn, continuing climb to El Coco VOR, crossing at 7,000. Continue per ATC instructions. Do not exceed the 113 degree radial of the VOR, simply because there's a restricted airspace right there. So I'll go ahead and pop the chart up on the screen so you guys can kind of see it. That's the ILS for runway 7. Here's the star we're on. It's a pretty it's an extremely basic star. There's really nothing crazy to it, but we're off of Lapo, Uniform Lima Alpha Papa Oscar. Let me see. Are there any? Yes, there are. There's a parking stand chart. I'm gonna plan on going over to stand 5. I saw that that's kind of like where they would park. It changes every day, so there's not one gate here that is Southwest's gate. Everybody kind of shares gates, so that's how that works. Anywho, we can do the approach checklist too. Approach checklist, altimeter is 2997 set, Paxer Auto, and the start switch is, oops, our continuous approach check's complete. We can also go ahead and drop most of the landing lights here. Alright, we put our logo light on, the wing lights on, and the landing lights, the wing landing lights are on. We'll put the retractables down once we drop below 10,000 and we're slowing back below 250 knots. Pretty much everything else is set up and ready for the approach. Again, flap 30 VREF of 128, 3162 are our minimums. Autobreak 2. So we can also go below 10,000. Let's go ahead and set in 4,600, which is our minimum altitude. Don't want to go below that. That would not be good. And that's far below our MSA. Our MSA east of the airport is actually 12,500 feet, which is due to that there's a volcano. Mount Barva is what it looks like, and then westbound, north and west, it's 9,700, and south and west, it's 9,400. So, as you can see, we're still quite a ways away from the airport. I do have the speed brakes still up, just to help us get down to 200 knots, and then once we get down there, we can lower the speed brakes and probably go flaps 5. Because in the 737, you cannot, at least for Southwest, you can't have, I don't know if it's universal between all airlines, but at least for Southwest, you cannot have the flaps down with the spoilers extended. We don't need the help slowing down much anymore. We can go ahead and go flaps 1. See, it's really slowing us back. I don't want to do that. I'll keep 200 in, that's fine. I'll go by that 200, but I don't want to slow down much anymore. Flaps 1 are set. That's just absolutely beautiful. So cool. I guarantee you too, this is supposed to be like a waterfall or some shit. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, and then there's the city right out there. You can see it right out in front of us. And if I remember correctly from looking at this airport, it's actually up on like a little bit of a, I don't want to say a plateau, because that's not the right, it's not that high off the ground, but it definitely is elevated a little bit from the rest of the other stuff around the approach end of runway 7, so it looks really cool. We can go flaps 5, why not? Flaps are going 5. Go ahead, drop the rest of the landing lights here. We are slow enough. Coming up now and 20 miles away. The runway should be pretty much right in front of us. Let's see. It's out there somewhere. Right out there somewhere. And I do like the cockpit much. I just think it looks cooler without all those background lights. Now that's different for the 777 and the 747. I like the background lights on it, but at least for the 7.3, with it being kind of a gray cockpit, I don't like the background lights being on, kind of taken away from it, I guess you could say. So, and I have not seen one controller on VATSIM this entire time. No one in the U.S., no one in Mexico, nobody. No one, no one. It did have Canberra. If I look on the star here, or Thomas, correction, it did have a max of 160 knots. There's got to be a reason for that, so I'm actually going to abide by that. Because the more and more I think about it, it may be because it's a steeper approach. I mean, the glide slope's only 3 degrees, so it's nothing crazy. But I'm going to abide by that. Something's telling me to do that, so I'm just going to listen to the chart. Now, that is going to end up leaving us quite configured, quite a ways away from the airport, but that's what it's saying to do, so, you know, we're not going to meet that 160 knots by Thomas, but we'll be close enough that it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We're going to be about 15 nautical miles away from the approach end of runway 7. We can go ahead and go flaps 10. And that's as far as I'm going to take it until we get a little bit closer to the runway. I don't want to drop the flaps anymore, because if I go 15... and I have the engines idled, it's gonna, gear warning horn's gonna go off. And for some reason in my NGX, I don't know if it's like this in everyone's, but the gear, the horn cutout, that does not work. It just does not work. I can click it as many times as I want, and it will not make a difference. So, not really sure if that's bug or if that's just me, but we're looking nice though. We're right on the glide slope. Localizer's off a little bit to the left, but we're following what we got here in our ANP at 0.06, so our actual navigation performance is much better. Why don't I just take the autopilot off now and hand fly? I will mind you guys, because I am hand flying, I'm going to be pretty quiet most of this approach now that I kind of have to focus on getting the aircraft on the ground and flying precisely, so sorry I'm not going to be talking that much, but it is a beautiful night to hand fly. I only got 10 knots of headwind here, so super nice. I'm kind of just cutting off a little bit to the left to get that localizer on, and we should be good to go. Set that to 150. We can... I'm still going to wait on that gear. I don't want to go 15 and gear down yet. Alright, we can go gear down, flaps 15. MCP just does not want to tune the airspeed. Just stop at 128. Thank you. Let's go flaps 30. And landing checklist, speed brakes, armed green light, landing gear down 3 green, flaps 30 green light. Before landing checklist is complete.
Minimums. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
$80. Make the next turn off here on our left. Welcome to San Jose. Oh yeah, I see the airline terminal now. Okay. I'll park next to all those other planes, so wherever that may be, maybe it's not gate 5, I don't know, wherever they are, follow the crowd on that one. Bravo. Oh, I don't think that's right, at least out the current chart, but okay. Go flaps up. Alright, removed the staircases, so those aren't there. One of my pet peeves. I hate when those show up when you have a jetway. I mean, even though it doesn't move, it just looks kind of silly. Looks so silly. Taxi can go off. He's telling me to go left, but I can guarantee you I'm on the line, so. Oh, 10 frame rate bus. Dude was flying. Oh, come on, man. You're not going to give it to me. There you go. Engines down, parking brakes set. Welcome to San Jose, Costa Rica. Let's go ahead and put in wheel chocks. I'm gonna go on a limb and say they probably don't have GPUs and stuff, everything for us here, so we're just gonna run the APU. Just don't think they would have that. I was pretty much on the line. I don't know what that dude was like flipping out for. Tell me to go left like hardcore. I was pretty much on the line, dude. But anyways, let me try and get out so I don't get hit by any sort of objects or anything. Thanks everyone for coming along on Southwest Airlines Flight 112. I hope you enjoyed this. Not all my videos are going to be like this, just some of the videos, just to kind of mix it up and so it doesn't get old and boring. Just trying to change things up. I'm definitely thinking about bringing a couple different kind of videos to the channel as well, maybe different games and stuff like that. So definitely let me know if there's anything you'd like me to take a look at. Can't guarantee you I'll put it in any of my videos, but I will be more than happy to check it out. I take every comment that I get about that stuff seriously, and I always do my best to try and cater to what everyone would like, because after all, that's why I'm making these YouTube videos. I make them for you guys. So again, thank you everyone for coming along with me. It's Southwest Airlines Flight 112, service over to San Jose, Costa Rica, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.